Well, howdy, 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 everybody. Teresa here. Put your hand in here, babe. There you go. It is another cooking installment with
Brad
the Hardys. Yeah.
and Teresa.
I'm the sous chef. He's that's the sous chef is a prep chef,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And he is the real deal.
Well, I don't know about that, but it sounds good. So what we're making, we call it cabbage rolls. Basically, it's
A lot of people call it cabbage bread.
Yeah, and basically it's I make a bread dough, and then I roll it out. I divide it in half, roll it out, and then we've got the bottom crust here, which is we'll put the mixture up on top of it, and then I've got the top crust rolled out, and I've got it on one of these flexible cookie sheets or cutting mats, and we'll throw that over the top, and then let me go grab my cell phone. So I've got my bread recipe on that.
Hey, Charlie Charlie Man. Hi, baby girl. Baby boy, what you doing? I know, I love you too.
Okay, the bread dough recipe, or the bread recipe, this is a new one I'm just trying out right now. And what?
Oh, sorry.
When you got a knife. And this looks really interesting. So I'm
Can I interrupt you for a moment?
You can.
How much of the cabbage do you want?
Half.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'm just going to kind of blast through the recipe. And if anybody wants, I can type it out and email it. We can email it to you. In a cup, mix half a cup of milk. And then what I did is, since the milk is cold when it comes out of the fridge, imagine that, I'll nuke it for 30 seconds so it's basically room temperature. And then I will add a tablespoon of sugar and a packet of yeast, and I'll let that stand and stir it up real good. Let it stand for about 15 minutes until it starts to foam up. And then while that's happening, in the big bowl for our, what do we call that thing again?
KitchenAid.
Thank you. The KitchenAid. I will add 3½ cups of all-purpose flour. I will add 1½ teaspoons baking powder, 1½ teaspoons of salt, and then the recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup plain yogurt, but we use sour cream, and then an egg. And then put all of the ingredients that you didn't put in the cup, put those all in the bowl, and just kind of stir it in a little bit. And then after the yeast mixture has started foaming, then pour it in, and then use your bread hook and mix it up real good. Takes 7 to 10 minutes. And then what I did is I preheated the oven to about 150, 175 degrees. And then I put the bowl in there. I put a little tub of water to let it make sure it was kind of humid in there, and let it rise for about an hour and a half. And then after it risen for an hour and a half, I divided it out, rolled it out, and got it. What was that?
The mouth.
Oh, rolled it in half. Oh, also I forgot to say, into the bread dough, I also, for this particular recipe, I added about a tablespoon of oregano and about a ½ a teaspoon of rosemary, and then just a little titch, a pinch and a half of garlic powder. So
is this going to be enough cabbage, or do you want the other half?
We might do the other half. One of the things with cabbage, as
cooks
most
down so much.
Yep. So, and then also, while that was going on, I took a pound and a half of ground chuck, and one of the reasons I like ground chuck.
Oh.
One of the reasons I like ground chuck is it's 20% fat. It's only 80%. It's 80% lean, and most of the ground hamburger you buy is 73%. And I like the little bit less grease, and it just doesn't put it out of the price range. It makes it so bloody expensive. And then I used ½ a pound of breakfast sausage, and There again, we use the Tennessee Pride because it is really inexpensive, and one of the things very, very lean. That's what I was going to say. That's one of the things I love about it is you get hardly any grease at all. So I browned it up and drained off all the fat, and then Teresa is cutting up the cabbage, and we're using a small head of cabbage, but we'll use cabbage and then an onion.
With the whole onion?
Yeah. And then we'll use some of the mini bell peppers, and about half those bell peppers we actually grew in our garden, and mushrooms. And we'll cook that down because the cabbage cooks down very, 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 very fat, or very, very low. It cooks down a lot. And then to that I will add probably a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. I will add about a tablespoon of minced garlic, and I'll add some paprika, and I will add a little bit of garlic powder and a little bit of onion powder. And once the veggies are all cooked down, I will add the ground beef and ground sausage. I'll add that into the mix and make sure it's thoroughly mixed, and then we will pour the mixture on top of that lower bread crust. Then we'll add the other bread crust on top, cut some slits in it to let the steam escape, and brush it with an egg wash, and bake it for about 25 minutes at 350, and then check it. The top should be golden brown. So that's while we're doing the rest of this stuff, like cooking. I'll take that.
Well, look at the garbage.
I know, but I've got the...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I keep forgetting that we're doing a compost kind of thing.
One of the things that we just started doing very, very recently is our soil is so sandy here. Imagine that in Florida.
Make good soil, but...
Yeah, but it is so sandy, and it's some areas it doesn't have a lot of nutrients in it. So what I'm doing is we're doing...
Put that over here because I'm going to have other produce.
So what we're doing is, like all the bits and end pieces and stuff of veggies, we're throwing that in this coffee can. You can use eggshells, coffee grounds, and tea bags. And then after we get the coffee can full, I will dig out a little bit of hole in the garden, and I will bury that in there and let it turn into compost. So while Teresa's doing that, as soon as she's got the onions, I'm going to go ahead and start.
I want to cry.
I know.
Dang, it's a strong onion. Woo, mama.
Oh,
this onion is angry as anything.
Took out my glasses and couldn't find them.
Ow. Oh, don't cry.
Don't cry.
Were you going to want to start cooking this stuff up?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. And I mean, if you want to put that on pause.
Well, I was going to yak a minute.
Okay, well, yak a minute.
Yakamaka?
Yakamaka. Got it. Oh,
still got the mushrooms and peppers to do here. It is July 8th, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, July 8th, 2018. It is...
Sunday.
6:41 p.m.
Come on, Nixie.
On this fine day. We got a heck of a rainstorm earlier. I mean, and I got up about 1:30 because you guys know I'm a night owl. So last night I was working on some masks that I'm making that I'm gonna be selling on Etsy and stuff. Some decorative masks, some Venetian decorative ones, and they're lace and everything. And anyway, I was working on those, and then I cleaned house and stuff. I like to do my housework now late at night. About 2, 3 in the morning, maybe later, because I like to get up the next day and it's all cleaned up. It's all nice and fresh. But anyway, I got up about 1:30 and didn't know where Brad was, And I thought, okay, well, he's got to be around here somewhere. And I thought, well, where could he be, though, because it's raining? I know he's not outside in it. Yeah, he was outside in it.
Well, I was going to walk. I was going to take one of the dogs with me because, you know, it's only a couple 100 yards over there, and you know, it's a nice little walk.
But you didn't tell him where, honey.
And well, and then as soon as
But you didn't tell him where, babe.
oh, to the garbage can.
Yeah.
Sorry. And then as soon as I opened up, or as soon as I was looking for the leash to put Nixie on the leash, the thunder cracked, and
You knew she wasn't going well.
she just about instantly wet herself and
Yeah.
headed to hide under the bed.
Yeah.
So I end up starting over there. I got about halfway there, and then the rain really started because it was just kind of spitting. So
Can you have a smaller knife now, hon? Like not the smallest piece, but yeah, that one. But yeah, so we got a nice rainstorm.
Yep.
I don't clean out the seeds on these little mini bell peppers. I don't find it necessary. You know. So, just a whole waste of time, I think. So, but yeah, one of the things is, one of our friends, and I'm not going to say who it is, because, you know, that's her private matter, but one of our friends, and she's commented on the channel and stuff before, her husband died in a car wreck. What night was it? Friday night?
It was either Thursday or I was thinking it was Thursday.
Yeah, it was Thursday night. Thursday night. He was coming home from work, and he died in a car wreck. It was not his. He was not in error at all. And he was a heck of a nice guy. We got a chance to spend time with him and stuff. And yeah, it's really been sad, you know. You know, we were friends with him, and it's just really very sad. You know, he was 49 years old, and you know, gone in an instant.
Yep, makes you realize how precious life is.
She had talked to him 10 minutes before, and then, you know, it was such a shock. I mean, she texted me, you know, probably about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, which they don't stay up near that late. I mean, you know, they keep conventional hours, and told me, and I guess, you know. So always hug your loved ones and tell them you love them, because you never know.
Yeah. If that time is going to be the last time you see them.
That's why I even always tell my friends that I love them and stuff, because, you know, I do, and you never can tell. I mean, you know, this is the second one of our friends we've lost just recently, and, you know, it gets hard. Sometimes you go through bouts where you feel like so many people are dying around you. See, and this one's a little bit bigger. I will clean out the seeds on this one. But, kind of. But yeah, so that kind of had us going for a loop.
Yeah.
You know, makes you kind of pause and, you know.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
You know, when you want to help and you don't know what to do to help, and, you know.
Well, and we'd even toyed with the idea about moving closer to them because, you know, they're such wonderful people.
Yeah. You know, they're the ones that invited us up last hurricane season.
Yeah.
And we went up there and spent time with them, us and all the animals, and you know, I feel very blessed that we got to do that now, because, you know, life is so precious.
Yes, it is.
You just never know, you know, when your time might be up.
Bless me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
But yeah, so that's what we've been you know, dealing with emotionally, is all of that. And I've been not watching too much YouTube lately because it doesn't seem like hardly anybody is putting any content out. I think everybody's busy with a lot of summer activity, which, you know, is natural and stuff. But, yeah, I've been watching Grey's Anatomy. I know they have a new season out, so I started with watching the entire from the beginning. And on my caps of my bell peppers, because I just don't like to waste a thing, I do this. Because you can still get quite a bit of meat off, you know, off your caps just doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, who is that? Oh, it's Nixie sliding my. She's laying down, she's sliding my thing across. But yeah, you just kind of wedge that knife up in under that cap, and you can still get quite a bit of good meat. I call it meat.
Well, that's...
Vegetables.
That works.
The meat of the pepper. But we've been having a good day. I don't know, sometimes I get so tired. And part of it may be the asthma, too, if I'm having a little bit harder time with the asthma. Of course, and you're going to feel sleepy and stuff. So, I know as I get older, I require more sleep. Remember when I was younger, honey? I hardly slept at all.
Oh, I know.
You know, now I'm like, oh, I gotta sleep. You know.
Well, I think I'm getting less sleep than I used to.
Yeah, you don't seem to require as much. You're just tougher than I am.
No.
Yeah. But anyway, this is all peppers and stuff, and I'm going to pause this for a moment while Brad's cooking stuff up. And
we'll come back and show you
when it's ready to be assembled.
When we put it all together, and then we'll pause again to until it comes out of the oven, and we'll show it to you then. Yep.
So we'll see you then. Bye. And we're back.
And
Brad is now cooked up. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We got.
You have to show it to him.
Got the vegetables. Vegetables all cooked down. Got the, sorry about my handshakes, guys. Got the hamburger and sausage mixed into it. Like I said, it added about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I added a little bit of beef bouillon, maybe a fourth of a cup. And then I added some garlic, or some minced garlic, and I added a little bit of seasoned salt. So, kind of overdid it on this, but what we'll do is we'll be very generous in...
Did you tell them that you already put the layer of bread dough down?
Yeah, I showed them in the very beginning, but
okay.
Yeah, I rolled this out earlier.
We don't make the individual rolls.
No,
that's
too much of a pain in the
yeah.
posterior. That was a polite way of saying ass. Okay. But we'll heap the portion of meat and vegetable mixture very, very generously over this, because once it bakes, it'll really, really settle in quite a bit. And then, you know, there's other things that we can do with this mixture. Teresa's planning on making egg rolls tomorrow, which I absolutely love. And a lot of this stuff, other than the Worcestershire sauce, is the same stuff she puts in the egg rolls. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, the meat and the cabbage and everything. Yeah. And one of these days we're going to have to buy some shrimp and, you know, use some fresh shrimp. So, as you can see, we've got quite a mound of the meat and veggie mix.
He meant buy shrimp for the egg rolls, I think, guys.
Yeah.
He didn't say that, but...
Yeah. Sorry, you're supposed to be able to read my mind.
Just because I can read his mind, he thinks you guys can.
Mm-hmm. And then what we'll do is...
Now, this isn't your traditional egg rolls or cabbage bread. Not egg rolls. Cabbage rolls or cabbage bread. because we changed it up.
Actually, Teresa was the first one to do this, and then I kind of took it and ran with it, you know.
Brad loves making bread dough and stuff. He's
Yeah.
very, very good at making that kind of stuff.
Yep. I love making cinnamon rolls, but they're not good for me. Okay, but really covered the top with shredded cheddar. And this is actually sharp cheddar. I prefer that over milder medium. And then we have some mozzarella. Oh, no, this is Italian style. And the thing I like about especially using like the mozzarella and some of those type of cheeses is I like it, you know, the gooey and stringiness it adds when you're eating it. You know, you got the big old...
So you're into the goo.
I'm into the goo. I am a goo ball.
That's what you used to call me. I used to have really bad sinuses and stuff when we lived in Wyoming, really bad allergies.
Yeah.
I don't here.
No, you don't.
It's really weird for me to wake up stuffed up.
Yeah. Well, you know, but predominantly you were allergic to hay.
I was allergic to hay, ragweed,
sagebrush.
Yep.
Which are all very, very, very prominent in Wyoming.
Yep. And I took allergy shots for years. You took them for years. The girls did.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway.
And already rolled out the top piece. And then you just kind of seal it all in.
Do you talk to it? Do you say, oh, you're so lovely, I love you, here you are, little baby?
No.
Oh, I would.
Well, I know, but you're different.
You hear me talking my arch to you all the time.
I do. Yeah, okay. And when it kind of got a little drier than I normally like it, but after I rolled it out, I set it back in a slightly warmed oven to so it would proof up a little bit more. And then, did I give you a sharp knife?
No, sir.
Oh,
yeah, you did.
I did. Okay.
Okay.
And then what I like to do is cut a few.
You wanted me to do
Well, go for it.
Go ahead.
No, you kill it.
You do it.
You.
Nope. Not doing it. Not touching the knife. Really?
Yep. I'm stepping back.
Why you do me like this?
Because. But you know, put some holes in it so the steam will escape. And then we have one beaten egg, and we do have.
You bad. I beat you. Bad.
And do have a brush. Oven's been preheated to 350 degrees.
How long we gotta bake this mofo?
Probably put it in for about. We'll check it at 25 minutes, and see how brown it is. This oven is it seems to cook when something calls for 375. Usually we'll cook things at 350.
And it racks up high because.
Yeah, and we put it up because it doesn't seem to get a lot of heat from the upper rack unless we put it on broil.
Yeah.
And then when it's to this stage, if you want to sprinkle a little cheese on top, we normally don't. Yeah. Or if you want to put a little mozzarella on top, or Parmesan. That's what I was thinking of. Did you want to do that?
Sure.
Okay. Let me. You know, and that's one of the things that.
You missed your bossy head. That's
one of the things that Teresa and I really work well together because, you know, we'll throw ideas at each other, and you know, once in a while I'll come up with a good one, and usually she comes up with a good one, and you know, we just work well as a team.
This is one thing we enjoy doing, and this is the first time we've had a kitchen in a lot of years that you could actually work together.
Yep. So what we're going to do is I've already preheated the oven. We are going to throw this in, and we're going to check it at 25 minutes. And so we're not going to make you wait 25 minutes. We're just going to put you on pause.
Yep.
So
we'll be back. One thing I wanted to say is while Brad was cooking stuff, we also, because we're going to buy a few groceries tomorrow, we also went through the fridge. We reorganized it some because we're not eating enough fruit because it's been down in the hydrator. So putting the fruit in a bowl in the fridge where it's visible, and wiped out the fridge and all that stuff. I cut up any produce I thought was going bad, like some of the mini bell peppers, the rest of the mushrooms, the carrots and stuff, and then we freeze them all. So when we're doing a recipe or soup, it's just super quick. So, Brad cooked. I mean, he cooked enough of that stuff that the mixture, and that I will be able to use that tomorrow for the egg rolls. You know.
Probably have to cook a little more hamburger.
Yeah, I'll have to cook a little bit of hamburger or sausage or something. Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go, and we'll be back. Okay, and by the magic of
Aussie.
Brad is now pulling the cabbage bread out of the oven.
I end up having to cook it for 30 minutes instead of 25. And also I cooked it at 350, but I would recommend on a normal oven, cook it at 375 because ours runs a little
hot, yeah.
And then what we do, get this, and if you just want to sit there and keep looking cute.
Okay.
Okay.
We've been having a really nice Sunday. I enjoy days like this where we get out in the kitchen, we work together, and it's just nice and relaxed.
Yep. So.
Sunday is my favorite day of the week.
Me too. Okay. So I brought a knife. Can you hold that for a second? And then, yeah, I mean, if you want to hit it right away, it smells good. And just cut it into sections. I want you guys to see what it looks inside. See, and you see the cheese goo.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a little much. You got too excited about the goo.
I did. The cheese goo just about sent me over the edge. And then and that is the finished product. What we like to do is oh, you got cheese goo hanging off the side here.
Cheese goo. But this is the finished.
And what we like to do is we like to put a little bit of butter on top.
Yeah, or, we use this imitation. It's supposed to be like, I can't believe it's not butter. And so that's what we use on it, like that. And so there you have it. There is Brad's homemade cabbage roll, or cabbage bread, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
We don't find it necessary to stand there and make it into rolls. I used to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's an awful lot of work.
Yeah, it is. So anyway, there you have it, and I hope you guys like it. And I am going to I'll probably type out the recipe and put it in the description, because I know people are gonna want it. So you'll tell it to me, and I'll type it out for y'all.
Yeah.
For y'all.
For y'all. Because, yeah, if I type it out, it would take about 3 days.
And if you aren't really into making bread dough, maybe time's a factor, maybe you don't really have room, you could buy frozen bread dough.
Yeah.
And do it.
I've always had good luck with the Rhodes bread dough.
Yep.
But I enjoy doing the bread from scratch.
So there you guys have it. Love you guys, and hope that you're having a wonderful day, and we will talk to you later. Say bye, Brad.
Bye, Brad.
Bye, guys.